Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to Super Fun Sunday. Today, I thought I would challenge my brain and my knowledge. Honestly, last night I was thinking about it. I was like, tomorrow's Super Fun Sunday. You need to bring it. And I really wanted to pick something that I felt was at like an incredibly high level of achievement and like mastery of drawing. And it wasn't easy. I was thinking and thinking, and then this came into my mind. So this is a like a I don't know what you call it, like a new version of it, colored by Dave Stewart. I believe this looks way more vibrant. I mean, this is I think a new piece, but maybe not. Maybe it's a recolored piece, but I'm not an expert on the book. I bought the original 3 issues. It was probably thinking back on it as I was pondering making this video, they might be 3 of the first back issues that I ever bought. It was kind of one of those things where it's like if you were getting into comic books and you were buying new stuff and you were trying to get more serious about it, about as serious as you could get would be something involving Frank Miller, and then this guy Geof Darrow was just like a comic book illustrator that really I had never seen anything like this, and it was one of those, it's just got like an underground feel. I don't know. It's really interesting. But anyway, so let's get going on this, and I can tell you a little bit that I know about Geof Darrow. I don't know a lot, but we'll be able to pour over these. Yeah, incredibly complex drawings that he does. And thank you for the recommendation on the picture viewing software. The only thing is I don't want to download anything onto my computer right now. I'm too busy, and the last thing I need is some sort of adware or pop-ups going on, even though I have some blockers set up. But yeah, this will work fine, and then I don't have to deal with any sort of like new things on my computer. So this looks like a new piece. I don't remember this, but Jeff, I think over the last few years has been working on well, was it like the robot book, and then also I think Shaolin Cowboy. Again, I'm not a real expert on his work, but this is great. His use of perspective is obviously something that you're going to notice really quickly with his work. Is that he can draw any object at just about any angle. From what I understand, there's a pretty good, like even this little gun on the bracelet. His attention to detail is ridiculous. I mean, it's almost like a Where's Waldo, where you can just sit and look at just about anything he's drawn, and there's a point of interest and some sort of character to it. But if I remember correctly, even on the gun handle, look, he's got like a little Gunboy's like little drawing here. Yeah, so for people who've never seen this work, I think this is going to be really fun. But if I'm not mistaken, he actually at one point worked as an animator for Hanna-Barbera. I'll post a link to the interview below, but he had some pretty funny stories about that. And I don't know exactly what year this book was done. I would say late 80s, maybe or early 90s. But yeah, his drawing skills going into this were off the charts. Yeah, I mean, I don't even really know what else to say about it. He really was just amazing. Okay, so got that. Yeah, so this, God, it looks so good. The new colors are great. They really are beautiful. I'm gonna definitely buy this. This is a hardcover collection. I'm gonna pick this up. This thing is great. I have the old, they're like magazine size comic books, but again, you can look everywhere through his stuff and find little fun things to check out. It's pretty incredible. Dark Horse brought it. He brought it. So I met Geof Darrow when I first started collecting comic books. Amazingly enough, they were all sitting at a table. It was Arthur Adams. I don't think Frank Miller was there. It was Mike Mignola, Geof Darrow. I think those 3 guys were together. So John Byrne wasn't there, and I was really nervous to meet him. And he had some of this original art, maybe not the hard-boiled art, but art that he had worked on at his table. And a lot of it was like on vellum, and a lot of it was just on like little scraps of paper. It was really kind of confusing to see, because it was just sort of like strewn all over the table, and people were kind of flipping through it. And Bill Sienkiewicz is kind of the same way. If you ever see Bill, well, now he's got a more legit setup, but I saw him at a con up in LA a few years ago, and I mean, he just had like a big mountain of art sort of sitting at his table, and people were like flipping through it, and it was interesting. But yeah, but Mignola, Darrow, Arthur Adams, they're intimidating sometimes to meet. They're all very very nice, and I've met them now multiple times since then. In fact, I actually met Geof Darrow, I think within the last year or two, and had a really nice conversation with him. It was right after I had coincidentally seen the listened to the interview with him on YouTube, and so I had a little bit more background on him, and he was really really nice, and it was a lot more relaxed. The first time I met him, I just felt like a nervous sort of like fanboy, you know. I have a lot of respect for artists. Really anyone that broke in before me for whatever reason. I feel like they're way way far ahead of me, you know, no matter what. And so yeah, meeting someone like him with just this level of skill and ability, and sort of like his resume, it's hard to not be a little nervous when you meet him, because this was me meeting him. It's like, hello sir, I love your work. But yeah, look at all this little detail he puts. This is like, man, if you're influenced by this, I wish you good luck, because you're gonna be spending a lot of time on your work. But yeah, I wanted to see something that just kind of like fried my brain today. That was the goal, is something that just was incredibly challenging. It's funny, right? Well, we're exploring. Oh, okay, it's interesting. Oh yeah, there's a kind of a sequence with these. Man, he just like, everything is just so crazy. I don't know how many people now would be this bold to try something like this. I think the temptation would be to make like 3D models and use that, and go like, well, I want it consistent. It's funny, it's like a Cadillac wing or something on her head. But yeah, I think the temptation now would be that people would try to build models to sort of so we're gonna skip this stuff just so it doesn't get blocked. Yeah, this is okay. Look at this. Oh my god. See, and this is what's impressive about him too, is how solid his work is. I mean, he can draw figures really really great, and from a lot of different angles, and he can have them emote, and he's the complete package. This is great. Oh man, that's gotta hurt. Man, I haven't seen this in so long. I occasionally bring them into my office, the magazines, but they may be in here now. I don't know. I think they're out in my storage. Oh man, look at that. Dude, the new colors just look so good. They really, really look great. This is so nice. Man, what a great shot. Yeah, this is going to be very inspiring. I'll probably watch this back a couple of times myself. God, he draws so solid. It's crazy. That's funny, GE. Bobby pins. Snickers bar? What in the world? That's funny. How random is that? That's funny, right? Some other randoms, but you guys can peek it out yourself. I would recommend getting these. They're really, really fun. This is great. I love this little texture he put in the background. Dave Stewart. I had been collecting his stuff on and off pretty much my whole career. I need to sort of fill in a lot of blanks. I kind of lost touch with it, but seeing this today, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to grab some of this. Oh, look at this. This is like one of those ones where you're just like, there's a double page spread in here too. That's like, wow, but look at this. Oh my gosh. This is me seeing the page. What the hell? And again, I mean, you can just pour through all this little stuff. It's like so crazy. It was funny because, you know, this in a weird way reminded me of Atomo, like Akira. I kind of put them in sort of the same category where it's like genius level work. Um, but yeah, I kind of discovered them both around the same time. And if you look at those um, Akira, not even the phone books, but just I think it's Epic Comics, the colored versions, um, you definitely see this kind of like level of like commitment. God, it's nuts. And all those little computer screens too. 7-Eleven. He's got the male female symbols there. Or it looks like a suggestion of a tic-tac-toe maybe. Or I don't know, what is that? Berserk? Where was it? This. Oh. That's funny. Oh, look, is that the Death Star? What is he drawing? Oh, it could be Snoopy. Steve Austin. I'm just making it up, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just so funny. Lots of pills. Okay. This is fun. I'm really glad I picked this. Oh, gosh. Man, that's crazy. This is an interesting little shape right there. Man, this looks so good. Okay. Oh, gosh. Wow, look at that. Wow, this is so fun. It's super fun. Hit it. Oh. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, wow. Oh, man. I'm going to be on a Geof Darrow bender for a while, I have a feeling. This stuff is really fun to check out. I want to really pour through. I'm going to grab out my magazines. I'm pretty sure I know where they are. They're on a bookshelf out in my storage that I think I can get to easier. It's just tough. I've got boxes and boxes of comics and then bookshelves full of them. So some stuff is easy for me to get to, and a lot of it is just locked down and overdoneness. Man, that is so cool. Yeah, this guy's nuts. But again, if you see these originals, it is possible sometimes that like this panel is just on its own sheet of paper or even paper and vellum, like where he'll have the underdrawing on like comic book board and like vellum over it. Like it was a lot of random stuff. It was funny because I remember asking him. This was when the first time that I met him that I kind of left feeling like a dumbass, and I was like kind of like, oh man, that didn't really go very well. I was like, is this stuff for sale? And he goes, everything is for sale. And I was like, oh, okay. But they were young, and there was a lot going on at that time because there was kind of like Image was dominating, and then you had these like super like legacy artists, meaning Frank Miller, Mignola, like John Byrne, all doing. I think it was it was through Dark Horse called Legend, and then Darrow was kind of like on the side of that. This is crazy. So he's really got an affinity for candy. It's funny. Numbers in there? What is that? It is. So, oh, maybe those are measuring devices on the hypodermic needle. I saw the numbers 2000. There's probably some, like, I mean, putting this much detail, I mean, he's probably got reasons for a lot of the little numberings and things. He just, God, look at that. Oh, man, so good. His storytelling is great, too. It's actually very, very clear. Man, this is a great page. God dang. Look at that. I love this. This is great. This is just so clear. Even though there's a massive amount of detail there, I don't feel overwhelmed by this. And the colors really help. I'm telling you, these new colors are brilliant. They're so good. It really looks great. Man, I love this. That's really nice. Pepsi. Oh, RC Cola. Pepsi. He should have done Mr. Pibb or what's it? Fago. Sly and 05, yo. That's funny. And I'm probably missing all kinds of like little things too that maybe you're spotting. A lot of times when I watch the videos back, I see more. or something that maybe I. Oh man, that's great! What a great shot. I love how Dave Stewart will just hit like little swatches of color here and there. It's kind of random, but it works really well. It's like this kind of really nice color here, a little bit here, got some here, little splashes of different stuff. Man, he really, really made this look good. God, this is immersive. Huh? Told you, I'm going to bring it with Super Fun Sunday. I'm working hard now. I've always been working hard, but like, yeah, I'm really, oh, the glass is so gnarly. Um, yeah, I'm really racking my brain to kind of deliver some really, really killer stuff. It's not easy though. Like, and this is setting the bar even higher, so I'm gonna have to dig deep. I had a few names popping through my head when I was trying to set up like what I was gonna do. This is such a great page. I remember this. Man, the colors look so much better. But it's, you know what? It's actually very, very nice to have two options of it. And I think it would make it really fun. You probably would notice different things. Like if you have the original version and you got this, I think that they would probably work really well together. I can't remember who colored the original version. That's funny. Domino's Pizza. That's old school. Pepsi. Man, you would. It's amazing that they were able to republish this with all the branding. I've like, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know how that works, but I don't think that you can. Oh yeah, this is great. It's funny because it almost reminds. What was the movie called with all the fat people that lived on the spaceship? It was like a 3D animated thing. Was that? What was it called? Wally? I can't remember. I know Wally's like the little robot, but I'm trying to remember what was the movie. Oh, that's so creepy. Um, where there was all the big fat people that lived on the spaceship. Oh, that's cool. Man, it looks so good. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That's nice. Okay. Oh man, that's crazy. I have no idea what he inks his stuff with. Couldn't even guess. Um, so sorry, I don't have any insight into that. But again, I'll post a link to it. There was either one or two interviews with him that I found. I think on YouTube, but it may have been somewhere else. But one may have actually been like a cartoonist's blog like off of it. But you can go to the site. Like I said, I'll look while I'm uploading this thing and try to find him. But they're definitely worth listening to. He's an interesting guy. Oh, that was one of the things. Okay, so back when I first got this, the rumor was that I had heard, and I've never confirmed it, was that he actually lived in like a semi truck and had a desk set up in the back of it and drew this. I don't even know, driving cross country or what he was doing, but like that was his apartment, was like a big rig, and yeah, he had an office in it or something like that. I don't know if that's an urban legend or what, but somehow I have that information. I don't even remember where I heard it. Oh, this is such a great page. And again, this is like one of those where's Waldo thing where you can just sit and like check out all the little funny things that he does. Okay, so we'll scoot through this fast because again, I don't want to. Man, that's so sick. It almost looks like the Coca-Cola mobile. It's like, take that, Pepsi. This is really nice. Wow. All this stuff is probably pretty fun to read, too. Man, that is so cool. Oh, gosh, look at that. I mean, that's a poster. You just put that on your wall. It'll give you entertainment for his. Dang. Wow, that is so cool. He is nuts. Fred Flintstone. Oh, man. One thing you can count on. Super Fun Sunday has the potential to blow your mind. And it would be interesting too to see how much of the graffiti, if any of it has changed, if even maybe some of this branding and stuff like that has changed. Again, I'm really surprised that he can do this, but apparently, I think this was reprinted in 2017. Apparently you can. I don't know. What's this nice page? Wow. Really cool. Oh man, there's so much great comic book art. So I always kind of suggest to people, if you're not feeling what's coming out now, dude, just go through my channel. Find one of these artists that connects with you, that was doing stuff, a while back, and check it out. There's plenty to pick through. Plenty. This is a great page. Man. The colors really, really make this stuff, the storytelling, even better. It honestly does. This is so clear. I mean, I'm getting a vibe of like a time of day. It's really, really nice. Yep, that's really good. Okay, so we're going to move into the second issue, and let's do this. And hopefully people enjoy the long videos. I know that, I've seen on other channels, people will complain about the length of videos that people upload sometimes. But I know that a lot of people that watch these actually are drawing while they're listening to them. So, for me, I prefer longer videos just because it's like, I can't watch a channel that has 3 to 6 minute videos and work. It just isn't conducive to my workflow. So okay, and we'll stop here. I'm not going to do the full series, but we'll do all this and then call it a wrap, because this video will be super duper long. But let me just get all these open. But this will give you a really good idea of what you're getting into, and then it won't spoil the end too, so it'll work out nice. There's gonna be a lot of pages, don't worry. I think the first one was blank. Let's see. Yeah, oh no, it's nice. Man, these look great. I know with Shaolin Cowboy, he actually got a little more sparse with the detail, and I actually think it looks quite nice that way. Like he doesn't always need to. Well, he doesn't. But like this is really, really pleasant looking. And what's nice about this too, honestly, is again, nowadays what I see when I see people draw stuff like this is it all looks like 3D models that they posed. Not everyone, but there's a lot, and it really you can feel it. You can feel the stiffness in it. There's a repetitiveness to it where it's like this body type is really the same as this body type, etc. Use that stuff as a way to set up your scene, but don't get lazy with it. It's getting you so much further along than a guy like this had at the time, where you can set your ground plane and the height of your shot and whatnot. But yeah, it's like people that are trying to really speed up the process and get lazy with it. It does show. I mean, honestly, I'm not just saying that. You definitely want to draw a bit more with it. So anyway, but I get it. I mean, it's a commercial field, and you're trying to get stuff out, probably in a month, to do 20 or 22 pages in a month. It's not easy to do. So trust me, I'm with you. And a lot of people pencil and ink their own work now too, so they're doubling their workload on top of it. So, those are choices that you have to make, though, but it can affect the quality of your art. This is so nuts. Even though these are very, very simple little figures, it's really well done. You can't drift when you do stuff like this. That's the thing, is if you get lazy and start drawing stuff at a weird angle or whatever, it really can cause problems. And you can really see he really gets perspective and how to do it. So it's oh, this is such a great sequence. Oh my gosh, I always love this. That's so funny. He's obsessed with Pepsi. This is a pretty, like, it's an interesting story. I mean, he's definitely taking shots at a lot of different things. You can really kind of feel that. San Bernardino, Santa Claus, Hollywood, Spielberg. It's funny. GE. There's so much branding, but I'm telling you, it. I don't think he's celebrating it. Fat Man, Mice Krispies. I gotta reread this. It's been way too long. Yeah, I might actually read this tonight. I'm curious now. I want to reread the story and kind of get into that headspace. Oh man, the colors are so good. Dominate Pizza Delivers. Wow, look at this. It's funny because that wasn't even really like a normal vehicle back then. I mean, I don't remember seeing Hummers on the road that often. You know, I mean, it's a Hummer type vehicle, but yeah, those didn't even come around for another probably 10 years. Wow, look at that. That's so cool. Yep. Man, that is wild. Gaines, fresh meat. Operation Rescue. Man, I can't even imagine taking on something like this and being able to do it. And I've done so many comic books, but this is like, again, I wanted something that tested my own sort of beliefs in comics, and this is that. There's no clock when you do work like this. It's done when it's done. I mean, it's just the way that it is. You can't even think like that. You just have to like settle in and go, all right, this page needs this, and then you do it. And you know, people will go, how long did that take? You're not even gonna know, because you can't. If you think that way, you'll never ever finish it. You'll never do it. This is funny. It's really cool. It's like, is that a Smurf? I don't even know. Rips the head off of it. Man, that's so crazy. Lots of different car types, and this is back before you could go on Google and like pull them all up. he had to work for it. Oh man, look at that. Oh, the colors just really make this stuff so much more, not only clear, but like you really appreciate the detail. Boy, that really reads great. I always like to do, you'll see me sort of move from far away to read the full shot, and then I enjoy the detail. But really the most important read is the full page, honestly. And the detail just sort of adds the hum. Looks like a lot of areas that I see now, the homeless. It's way worse now than it's ever been. Oh, it's cool. Piece is cheap. Man, that's so amazing. This is great. This reminds me of Twisted Metal. If you ever played the game, especially the early versions, there was that one street that, like, normally I would go up the block this way, but it reminds me of one of like, it might even be the first map. Those games were fun. Twisted Metal. That was pretty cool. Oh man, Granny. Bring it. So the names seem to be a little tweaked in this issue. I'm noticing that, like, maybe they were before and I just didn't notice, but yeah, it's like a lot of them now are more edgy references to the brands. Oh man, look at that. That is so nice. Oh, let me pull this out. Sorry, I didn't even notice that was open. Get so focused on the art. Oh, like, what are those nuclear pigs? What does that say? Hog gone. Man, this dude is nuts. Oh man, that's great. Oh jeez. You know, I won't spoil it. I'm getting ideas of follow-ups to this. I'm telling you, this raises the bar for all of us. Super Fun Sunday just got real. God, man, this is so crazy. Sorry, I felt like I had a rough start on this one. I wasn't really very awake, and it's tough when I don't know a lot about the artist and their work methods and stuff like that to really bring like my the dialogue can be kind of scattered. So I apologize if it kind of sort of sucked in the beginning, but I'm sure people are sticking it out. It's all good. You know, really the fun of these is the entertainment value of it, and then any sort of little tidbits I can throw out. What's interesting about Darrow too is he is crazy enough to not use stats. This may be, let's see. No, see, it's not. Look at this. You see that? These don't match up. This is too different. It's close, but this is not the same. Look at like the end of that and the end of that. So yeah, he redrew that twice. You know, again, now people probably would just do a stat. There's nothing wrong with that overall. I mean, because it reads very, very similar, and it's just more of a like, yeah, I'm nuts enough to do it twice kind of deal. But he was nuts enough to do it twice, really 3 times, and all 3 are different. I'm thinking, let's see. Yeah, it looks like they are. Man, it's a great panel. I'm really getting like a Twisted Metal vibe from this. It's funny. Now I want to play Twisted Metal 1. Oh man, that's great. It's funny because one of my first favorite comic books when I started collecting, there were a few, but definitely Sin City and Hellboy were 2 of the first ones that I really liked. I liked Monkey Man and O'Brien too because it was different than those other ones. But it's like, this is so Frank Miller, but yet it's so Darrow. They're a great combo with like Frank writing this and then Geof drawing it. It's really, really cool. So let's see. Oh man. Wow, this is such a great page. I love this. You see what I'm saying though, where you could get like a little bit of kind of like a crazy Atomo vibe from this? God damn. This is awesome. Oh, the colors are so good. It makes it so much better. And, you know, no offense to the original colors, but man, this is great. And normally, I'm not a fan of recolored books. I'll always generally take the original, but this just looks sexy. In a violent serial killer, Quentin Tarantino kind of way. I wonder if Quentin has ever read these. I don't know if he was ever a comic book fan. I don't think I've ever heard him mention comics. Wow. Oh god, that's so gnarly. And again, so much fun stuff to like pick through. Oh my gosh, look at this. Wow, that is such a beautiful piece. This would take so long, and this, if I'm not mistaken, these types of originals when he does them are actually kind of big. Like they're a little bit, they're bigger, I think, than a normal double page spread. But my God, this had to have taken at least 200 hours. There's no way, because I've done black drawings that are like this kind of like, it's a different style of detail, but like a lot of stuff like this. Yeah, this could have took a couple of months, you know, or God, there's no way you could do it in a week. There's no way. I don't think. I hate to speculate on someone else's work, but I'm telling you, this could have been anywhere from 200 to 400 hours worth of time spent. Look at that over here. These are just absolutely insane. They're so intricate. These little holograms are great too. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of, we'll move through it quickly, but there's a lot going on in here. It's a really really fun piece to look at. So you can always pause it and soak it in if you'd like. But all right, so let's keep moving. That's amazing. And he may bring it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in another page or two he's got something else like that. So again, you can see how that sort of reaffirms my, like, the pages just take as long as they take, and whatever your vision of the storytelling is like you just have to commit to that. It's a very admirable approach to comics, but man, you can make money doing that. The thing is pages like this will always hold their value. You know, you don't want to sell them too early, but you know, like that double page spread on the open market, like in an auction, I mean, that could go for tons of money. You know, so it's like when you do hard work like this, it is rewarded. There's no doubt about it. I mean, just go to any of those like comic book auction sites and look at like some of the more high end, iconic superhero art and what it sells for. It's pretty impressive. I mean, comic art is a very very legitimate collectible. It's funny because it's like comics themselves are a fun collectible, and you know there's money and different levels of it, and then obviously the silver age and golden age stuff like that can get real expensive. But man, comic book original art, you know, it's not anything to take lightly. That's funny. But yeah, I'm under the impression that he worked for Hanna-Barbera before he did this. I could be wrong with that, but that's kind of what I remember. I remember tripping out on that. I think at one point he might have lived in Europe too, like in France maybe. I don't know why I remember that. And maybe he still does. It's possible. That's a great car, man. He needs to do a follow up to this. Maybe he has, and I don't know. But that would be pretty cool. I'd like to see a bunch of night scenes. I don't know why, but it would be really fun to see like this same city at night. It would be super, like, I don't know why. Probably because of my Atomo fascination. Atomo Momo. And people have been asking for me to do Kaba too, because I did Kaba 1 a while back. That's an Atomo art of book. But I'll check my channel, because I swear to God I did the second book. I did them both really close together, and I don't know why one might be missing, but I'll check my video library and see what the deal is. But if not, I can do Kaba 2 at some point, because they're both good. They're a little, I don't know if they're hard to find, but I think they were when I got them. But that doesn't always mean that like now they would be. Sometimes stuff gets scarce, and then they do a reprint or whatever, and all of a sudden it's not. Lots of funny texts. This is a great shot, man. Again, this would take so long to draw. This is at least 3 days. Maybe even like a week to 10 days. At least 5 days. I'm thinking somewhere between 7 and 10. Unless he was just working psycho hours, but I mean, there's no comic book that really doesn't work psycho hours. So it's like you almost can't put that into consideration. This is nice. Okay. Oh, wow. It's cool. Oh, man. Again, the colors really, really make these pages sing. The art's so good, but man, with the colors, it just makes it even better. And you know, I mean, overall, the inks on this stuff just sort of serve the purpose. They're you know, it's like they're there, but you know, you're not like getting hung up on techniques and like how did he render this or crosshatch this. It's not that kind of art. There are line weights. I mean, you can see there's like a thicker line around this, but you know that it's a little thicker than those lines. But you know, he creates a separation with the line weights for sure. But yeah, man, so crazy. Oh, so many good books. And you guys have been putting out a lot of really, really good suggestions for stuff, and quite a bit of it I have, honestly. Like, I was surprised. There was a few things that people recommended that I hadn't heard of, and a few things that I had heard of that I don't, like, that might be a little, like, I don't have them. But a lot of the stuff I did actually nearly sure I have, so that's good, you know. And it gives me a good excuse to kind of go through my comic book collection and not only organize it better, but label it better. That's the problem, is when you have so many boxes that you can't see into, you know, it makes it tricky. As I bought like 6 of these more high-end like storage boxes, but I don't know what is in them. I know that Spider-Man and stuff like that, some of my older stuff that I picked up. Man, I'm sure this work was very influential. If you can name any artists that you think were influenced by this, I know Aaron Weisenfeld was, but he never went this crazy. But definitely Aaron had some Geof Darrow isms in his black and white like Deathblow story, the broken car glass, and some of that stuff was a little bit hard-boiled ish. Chatos. Wow, this is some big produce. Oh, Behemoth. Oh, so this is like Costco. Oh, that's funny. Oh, look at Homer. Man, so much that you can find. Okay. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is so crazy. He's so good with perspective. I'm telling you, it's so easy to sort of zone out and start to lose like the eye level or whatever if you're not really focused on this. But man, he just seems to like, it's very, very comfortable for him, and it all looks great. It's so good. Wow, this was really fun. I'm so glad we did this. Oh, is this it? Okay. This is very calm compared to everything else. It's like, yeah, head off. That's fine. Wow. So again, we're going to end it after these 4 files because this video is very, very long. And then you can always pick up the book if you want to check it out. Oh, yeah, this is so cool. And that way it doesn't spoil the end for you. But if you stuck this video out till the end, you either own this already or you're gonna be getting it, I would imagine. Oh, this is a hard one to pass on, and this version of it is great. I'm gonna order it literally right when this video is done. Great colors, just little splotches of interesting stuff. And okay, all right, have a great day, and thank you for coming by. Subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell, and yeah, I'll probably just be back next weekend for Super Fun Sunday because I have a lot of work to do this weekend. I'm working on Blaster Kid. I spent quite a bit of yesterday working on it. But, you know, again, to do this type of a comic book, you can't be counting hours. I just have to dig in and do it. So, but I'll be back next week with a Super Fun Sunday for sure. All right. And check out my Patreon if you want. There's quite a bit of stuff there, and there's always more going up. All right. Later.